strategies, different things. I'll share with you how I do it, and hopefully it'll give you some good ideas on what to do in your open houses. So, how many of you do open houses on a regular basis? Everybody? Fantastic. Okay. So how many of you are actually my home group agents? Almost everybody? Okay. I'm just going to explain to you what I do, and hey, welcome. I'm going to find my, here we go. All right, so here's what I do. So I tend to do vacant properties only, unless it's my listing. If it's my listing, then I'll set it open as much as I can. Otherwise, I look for vacant properties. And one way to do that is I go to company listings. So here at my home group, we average probably over 700 listings a month. So there's no shortage of finding an open house. So I go to company listings. If you go to office listings, and when you're in your MLS system, if you go into office listings, it's only going to show the listings for that office. And that's why I go to company listings, so it'll show all the listings. And here's what I like to do. So again, I do vacant properties. And I start this on Monday or Tuesday. The reason I do that is because if for some reason that the open house I picked goes under contract, I'm going to look for another one. So that gives me time. So there's a lot of preparation that I like to do in going into open house. That's why I started on Monday and Tuesday, just in case I have to redo the process on Wednesday or Thursday. Okay. So vacant properties, and here's how I search for them. So I look for my area. So that could be Gilbert, Chandler, Mesa, wherever your area that you like to be in, you pick that area. And I go by price point. So my target range is 225,000 to 350,000. Anybody know why?
They sell faster.
I'm sorry?
Size of the
So most traffic. Most people through in that price point. Not that I wouldn't do something that's 400,000 or 500,000. I absolutely would do an open house in that range. This one just seems to have the most traffic in this range. Okay, so I got my vacant price point area, and in the MLS, when you're searching for it, there's a little checkbox you can check. So you can check that checkbox once you've selected the one that you want, and I choose up to 5 of them. So I choose up to 5 different properties, 5 different possibilities. So once I've got my, again, vacant, my area, and then my price point, and once I've got my 5, I am now going to rank those 5, okay? And here's how I rank them. So I rank them by pictures. So obviously if it's remodeled, I'm going to rank that one higher than one that's not, okay? I also go by days on market. So if it's 1 day on the market, I rank that higher than 120 days on the market. But I will let you in on a little tip. If it is 120 days on the market, but I like the location, I like the area, and everything else about it looks good to me, I will click the history tab on that property, and I will see how many open houses have been done on it. Because if they've been doing a lot of them on there, and they've been posting it in the MLS, you can see it'll say open house, so it'll be in there. And if it's been a ton of them on there, I'll rank that one much lower. But if there's been none on it, I think that's every bit as good as 1 day on the market, in my opinion. Okay, I've had a lot of success when I find that there's hardly any open houses on it, and I've done it, and I've gotten a lot of traffic. So days on market, and then by map. Okay, here's what I mean by the map. So I'm going to draw this out here. So if the house is here, and there's 2 turns here, house is here, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 turns, which one am I going to rank higher? One with 2 turns. Okay, because you do have signs to place out there. Not that I wouldn't do the one with 6 turns. I'm just going to rank this one higher than this one. Okay, so once you've done that, you've ranked them in order. Now's the time when I'm going to make the phone call to the agent. Okay, and I'm going to say, Mr. Smith, this is Michael Marlowe with my home group. How are you today? I said, great. I'm going to say, I just noticed your home on 123 Main Street. I was wondering if I could sit that open this weekend from 11 to 2. Here's the most popular times. You can do 10 to 1, 11 to 2, 1 to 4, and then 11 to 4. Okay? Those are the most popular times. And you could do whatever you want. You could do 9 to 11. You can, whatever time frame you want to do, you can do that. These are just the most popular times. Okay. I noticed that for some reason between 2 and 3 p.m. I get the most traffic.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about
I
that,
don't
but
either.
so what I had started doing was back when I was doing real estate full time, I changed it to 11 to 4 just because I was aggressive about my business back then, and I really wanted to build my database and my pipeline. So I did 11 to 4 just because of that, because there was so much traffic. So what I do now is if I do one, I will ask the agent if it's okay if I stay open. So if it's busy, I'd like to stay open. And I have like a 20, 30-minute rule. So if 2 o'clock comes around and someone comes in, I'll stay open for another 30 minutes. And if someone comes in again, I'll stay open for another 30 minutes. I did that one time, it was open till 6 p.m. I had about 30 people through. So, but pick your time and then let the agent know I'd like to sit it from 11 to 2. If they say yes, it's good to go, awesome, will you please put it in the MLS? So then have them put it in the MLS because you can't. And then after that, it's time to start marketing the property. Okay? Any questions on this so far?
So down here in Phoenix, is there other brokerages let you do it? If you're from My Home Group and they're from Windermere, they're from Real Estate
Okay,
Executive?
excellent question. You can do an open house, you have to get broker approval, okay? So if you're gonna do something from another company, you have to make sure you get broker approval from that company and from your company.
Okay.
So just make sure you reach out. You got the broker hotline.
Yeah.
So all of you familiar with the broker hotline?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So just call that broker hotline. You can talk to them or talk to Larry, who's a DB, or John Dyer, managing broker.
Yeah, okay.
But you have to get broker approval from both sides. And if you want to know more about the process, please reach out to them, okay? So any other questions on this? Okay, let's get into the marketing side of it. I'm going to leave this map up because I'm going to get back to it in a minute when we talk about what we're going to bring. So we picked our property.
Wouldn't 1 to 4 be a pretty prime time then, because of the 2 to 3 is a popular generally?
Yeah, it is it's just something I found. It can be different for everybody. So, I mean,
Oh.
sometimes there might be higher traffic in the morning.
Okay.
I just found that in my experience with doing open houses that was a high traffic time. So I tended to stay open, or I asked if I could stay open a little longer if it was busy.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they could vary. I mean, I've had days where I've done it 10 to 1 and it had just as many people through as I did from 11 to 2. So,
Okay.
yeah. It will vary. Okay. So, marketing the property. So, I start with Facebook. How many of you have like a lead generation system that they use, like Conversion? Excuse me, Boomtown. Anybody have anything like that? Okay, so my system will allow me to go out to the company listings and I can post it through my system out onto Facebook. If you don't have that, you can still get a picture of the property. You can go out to Facebook, and here's where I go. I go Facebook groups. They're open house groups, okay? So I join as many open house groups as I can. There's a ton of them out there. If you haven't searched for it, you can go to my page or friend request me, or go to my Facebook page, and on the groups there, you can see how many different groups I'm a part of. And you can also keyword search. So open house Peoria, open house West Valley, open house, and you can find the different groups and ask to join them, okay? Once you've done that, and you have hopefully 20 or 30 different groups out there, you can post that picture out there of that property if you don't have a lead gen system that'll allow you to do that. Post the picture out there and just say, hey, come check out this 3-bedroom, 2-bath home in Mesa for under $300,000. We're having an open house from 11 to 2. Come check it out. So you're going to post in these different groups, okay? And you can post in many of the different groups to let them know you're having that open house. So that's one way you can start there, okay? Another way is you can do what's called a targeted ad. So it's a Facebook ad that you can do, and you literally, if that's the open house, you can do a 1-mile radius of the open house with the targeted ad. It will cost you some money, and it can vary on the cost, how much you want to spend, but you can hit 1-mile radius of every home from that home, okay?
What's the average cost to do that?
I've heard your ad spend can be different. I think some people from $5 to $25, somewhere in there.
I think the minimum is $5 a day, but I've done it before. It's just $5
Yeah,
every
that's
day. So
Did you
I'll
like
do
our
it.
online?
You can get super specific with this too. So it's you literally by area, by even by income range. I mean, there's so many different things you can do with the Facebook ad. If you haven't, If you haven't had a class for that, look for a class on that. They'll teach you how to do targeted ads, okay? But that's another way to do that. You can hit a 1 mile radius. The other thing I like to do, I'm going to talk about what we bring, is one of the, is I have 2 types of flyers I actually bring to an open house. And the other thing I like to do is door knock like 50 doors the day before. And so I take my flyer that I'll have at the open house, and I'll go knock the doors, and I'll say, hi, my name is Michael Marlowe, I'm a realtor, I'm holding a house open here tomorrow from 11 to 2, and I would really love your opinion on the house. We'd love for you to stop by and give us your feedback. And so then I door knock. And you can do as many doors as you want. I generally like to do 50 closest to that house and just knock those doors. Okay? Now, by the way, the Facebook groups, you can do that 5 days before, 3 days before, 1 day before. And you try to promote that property. The targeted ad, it's up to you how often you want to do that, but I would do at least the day before. Okay. Door knocking, obviously, you can do it the day before or the day of. If you want to do it a couple hours before you're doing the open house, you knock the doors, let them know you're having it open that day. You can invite them. I've done both. Okay? There's also ways you can reach out to your title company. Title companies can give you lists. I think I've heard they can have your phone numbers even and call and invite them that way, or get addresses and then mail out an open house flyer to invite them to the event as well. Okay? Any questions on that? Okay, so again, if you're going to do the open house groups, 5 days before, 3 days before, 1 day before. Okay? Any questions on marketing? Now, I'm going to tell you what I have on that flyer here just shortly and what to bring. So I'm going to erase this here. Let's talk about what we got to bring to the open house. So, now, any open house is better than no open house, okay? I like to bring 20 signs. If you don't have 20 signs, that's okay. 20 signs that go like this, 5 signs that go like this. Okay? If you only have 10, that's fine. Use what you have. And as you close deals, take a little portion of your deal and start building your inventory of the things that you need. Okay? So now, 20 signs. Now, this is why I have the map up here. This is how I like to position the signs. So when I am doing research on the property, that's one of the reasons I pull up the map so that I can see where I'm going to put my signs.
Question is, don't some cities have limits on how many signs you can put
Yes,
out?
yes.
Scottsdale's got 6 or...
You do need to find out what, certain cities like Chandler, Scottsdale have sign restrictions, so you need to find out what those restrictions are. So if you can only put up 1 per corner, then you can only put up 1 per corner. Okay? Don't try to put them out there because the fines are heavy.
Wouldn't that be a good resource for, say, our back page to have, like Scottsdale, like how many?
Resource to find that information?
Yeah. So
Well, you
on our-
can go to each city's website, but Dustin Hollandrick has what Open House Helpers. I know he has a mastermind or a little website that will help give you some of that information. But I would just Google each city that you're going to do it in and find out what the sign restrictions are.
I think you can get that from SAR too. They've got every city has.
How many of you heard of Open House Helpers, by the way?
What do you mean?
Okay, what are
You
you?
know how we have
It's a
website,
company that will sets up the signs and takes them down for you at a cost.
tab for resources.
So if you want to Google that, so Open House Helpers, it's a great company. They do a great service. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, so 20 signs that go like this, 20 signs that go straight up and down. So here's how I like to position them. So if this is the house, and this is obviously hopefully in a city that doesn't matter on how many signs I can put out. Again, if you're restricted on signs, make sure you put out the amount allotted. Now here's what I do in this situation. So traffic, Pacific streets. So traffic is coming this way. I'm going to put 3 signs this way, 10 to 15 yards apart. Okay? If they're coming this way, I'm going to do the same thing on this side, 10 to 15 yards apart. Okay? I'm going to do, if they're coming this way, I'm going to do 2 signs this way. I'm going to do 1 sign on this side since it's so close to the intersection. 1 sign towards the house. I generally like to have a flag or some type of balloons or something on a sign out in front to let everybody know this is the location. Now, if this distance is great, this is close to this intersection, I'll have a straight up and down sign that way saying keep going. And then of course traffic this way. I'm gonna have 3 signs 10 to 15 yards apart. And same thing on this side. So at this point, let's just see how many signs we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 of my 20 signs I've used so far. Okay? And I've used 1 of the straight up and down signs. Okay? Now, since I have some left over, I might look at this map and say, well, how else can I direct people to me? So let's say a street comes this way and comes through. It's not the best drawing there, but comes through. I'm going to put 2 more signs over here. I'm going to put a straight up and down sign here and another one here to try to bring some traffic from the other side. So at this point, I've used 19 signs and 2 of my straight up and down signs. Try to maximize the sign usage if you can to bring the most traffic that you can. Does that make sense? Any questions on that? I try to put them spaced far enough apart so they're not right on top of each other. Okay. Any questions on that? Okay, fantastic. So, what else do I bring? Well, I bring 2 types of flyers. So, I bring the MLS version, the client version, the MLS sheet, client version. I bring a copy of the private version for myself, but I bring a copy of the client version. Here's why. A lot of times I've had customers come in and they want that particular neighborhood. They want that area. So on the client version of the sheet, it's going to have some more information on it than your flyer. It's going to, the HOA, if there's community features, things like that, it'll be on there. Okay? And then of course I have my custom flyer. My custom flyer, it's a very important. This is one of my talking points. So I'll have, of course, my price. I'll have the picture, have the description, and then, of course, your info. And then the most important part of the custom flyer is you're going to have your website. You're going to have your mobile app. Most mobile apps you can get from your lender if you don't have one, or from a title company. And then find out what your home's worth. This is a great talking point. So that's what I have there on the flyer. So I have the 2 types of flyers that are there. Now, because it's vacant, you're going to need 2 chairs. I like to have a folding table, at least 2 by 4. So you can set some stuff on there, like your flyers. Obviously you need your business cards. You can bring water. You can bring food if you want. I generally just bring water, especially now it's hotter out. I'll have a cooler full of ice and I'll have that in there, and just a sign on top that says please take one. And I'll also put some up on the kitchen. I usually put it in the kitchen. That's where most conversations happen. So I'll put that right in there for them to take. Okay. You're also going to want to have buyer guides, seller guides. Does everybody know what those are?
Yeah, where do you
Just collect that
download?
from the title company.
Where do you can you download them from somewhere?
No, actually, you just call your title rep and just let them know that you need some. They're little booklets they already have pre-made. I just have a bunch of them on hand. We'll usually put 3 or 4 of them out at a time. Have them there. You're going to have a listing book. How many of you know what that is? Some of you? Okay. So how many are familiar with the RPR? Realtor Property Resource?
No, I know.
Okay, you are now? Yeah.
I remember now.
So that's www.narrpr.com. It's a great resource. In there you can do what's called a property detail report, and you can create your own listing book. I used to have the title company prepare it for me. They still can do that for you. But this is one way you can do it yourself. You can customize it a little bit. You can even create your own cover sheet with your information on it, along with the house address and stuff. And then you can go to like Walmart or I'm sure Target and get those little 3-wing binders, and you can make your own property detail report that you can put there. So I like to do that. I usually put that in the kitchen, on the kitchen counter, and again, that's where a lot of conversations happen. So listing book, your feedback form, the most critical part. Your feedback form. This is where you try to capture the information. I have one that I found that works really well. If you want a copy of it, just let me know. I'll email it to you. And on that feedback form, it's going to have things like your name, email, phone number, and it's also going to have questions on there. Are you a buyer or seller? When you plan on buying, 1 to 3 months, 6 to 12 months. There's information on there to capture their information as well as feedback questions. What did you like about the house? What didn't you like about the house? So you're trying to get their opinion. I put that usually on a clipboard, that feedback form on a clipboard. For some reason, when I hand them the clipboard, they seem to fill it out. So you try to, there's always different ways to try to capture their information. I also have my iPad, I'll have that set up. My conversion account actually has an open house feature in it, so they can sign in right there for the open house. So I'll have both versions. So if they want to sign in that way, that's great. If they want to fill out the feedback form, that's great as well. So I have that feedback form. So here's what I like to do. So we're not quite done with everything that we need, but I'm going to talk about a little bit about how I position myself in the open house. So if that's the door, the front door there, I'll position myself where I can see them coming in. And when they come in, then I'll greet them. I do not take a flyer with me when I go up to meet with them. I actually go up to say hello. Hi, my name is Michael. I'm with my home group. Thanks for coming. And then I might ask, how did you find us today? And if they say, well, it's from the Facebook ads that you sent, great. I take a mental note. So I'm always taking a lot of mental notes so that once I'm done, I get the feedback form, I can make all those notes about my conversation with them. Okay? Once they say, I try to invite them on a tour. If they don't want the tour, they just want to look around, then great, let me get some information for you. I will go back and get the flyers for them and the feedback form, a flyer for them and the feedback form. Then I hand them the clipboard and I'll say, we're trying to provide as much information to the seller as we can. We really appreciate your opinion on the home. And then I'll hand that to them. Okay. Any questions on that?
So, if it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, how do you tour? How do you go through a tour since it's a really small house?
Say that again?
So, if it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, how do you really tour such a small house?
Yeah, I mean, you would give information about, the backyard. If it has a pool, you could say it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It has a pool. It's a split plan. I mean, there's different things about the house that you can talk about. You can show them, this is where the master bedroom is. If it's a smaller house, you can still make it work. And if you know about the community, the area, different things in the area as well. So you got your flyers, you got your folding table, you got your business cards, your water table. The buyer guides and seller guides are usually put on that folding table. I'll put some business cards in there. You're also going to want some mortgage information out there, so you want a mortgage flyer, mortgage business cards as well. Try to get your lender to do an open house with you. It's always great to have them there if you can. Now the mortgage flyer, I tend to have different types of flyers there, maybe 1 or 2 different types of flyers. For example, how many of you heard of the Home in 5? So I might have a flyer like that. Especially if I'm doing a house between $225,000, maybe $275,000, I'll have a flyer about that program. For example, there were some clients that came in. I was training an agent on an open house, asking all the great questions. And we got to the backyard, and she said, when are you guys looking to buy? And they said, oh, the next 3 months we're saving for a down payment. She said, great, here's my card, I'll follow up with you in 3 months. And she said, hey, have you heard of the Home in 5? And they're like, what's that? So I started giving some basics on the program, and they were very interested. So they went from a 3-month buyer to a now buyer, because they realized, hey, this is a great way to use free money for the down payment, and the money that we're saving could go towards furniture and stuff like that. So. But talk to your lender. This is where you meet with your lender, get the specifics on the program so you're well versed on it, and then you can have a flyer there. There's other programs like an asset-based program. It's a very popular, it's a program that you can have as a flyer as well. Okay? So meet with your lender, find out the different loan programs, have some couple options on your flyers there, and have that available at the open house. Okay? Have their business cards there as well. Now, some other things I like to have. I like to have 3 to 5 other properties that are for sale in the neighborhood. These properties are not like properties. They could be 200 square feet smaller, 500 square feet bigger. They could be 2-story, single-story, pool, no pool. I just like to have different properties available. A lot of times, the people that are coming through your open house, it's not the house they're looking for. And what I like to do is like to put them up on a wall. So obviously get some stuff that doesn't stick to the wall or mess with the paint, or have a nice easel or something that you can put them on, but find a location that they're going to walk up to it and check it out. I like to create 3 to 5 what's this? 3 to 5 different things that people are going to ask a question, or they're going to walk up to it and look at it, so that you have an opportunity to talk with them. The more opportunities you have to talk with them, the more opportunities to build the know you, like you, trust you. Okay? Because most of the time when they come into an open house, it's just like you going into Macy's or Dillard's and you're looking for a shirt or you're looking for shoes, and you walk up, salesperson comes up and says, "Can I help you?" And you say what? "No, I'm just looking." It's the same kind of thing, okay? So they're going to do the same thing. "I'm just looking." Or they'll say, "I already have a realtor." So a lot of times when they say that, they may not have a realtor. So I like to, try to create 3 to 5 different things that I can talk to them to build that know you, like you, trust you. Okay? So my flyer is one of them. I always do this flyer on their way out. So on the way out of the open house, thank you so much for coming to the open house today. Just want to let you know at the bottom of the flyer there is a website. Free, no obligation, no hassle way to search for homes on my website. I'm not gonna bother you with drip campaigns or anything like that. Just if you're interested, go to the website. Also, there's a mobile app feature there for you. So while you're driving around today, if you're looking for other open houses, that mobile app will help you find some other homes that meet your criteria. The other one is find out what your home's worth. So if they do have a house to sell, that is available for them to do. Okay, they can get a free home evaluation from your website. So as long as your website provides that, so Conversion has that. If you have a system that has it, then you can put that on there. Okay, great talking point from the way out. Any questions so far?
Do you get a lot of people want to sign in at all? Do you have a sign-in sheet?
Yeah, that's my feedback form.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, your feedback
Yeah,
form.
I used to use, title companies used to provide a
Yeah,
sign-in
and they
sheet,
never signed
or I
in.
would create a sign-in sheet. I kind of changed it to a
Big name,
feedback
big
form.
emails.
Yeah, I got more signups that way when I'm like, "We'd love your opinion on the home," and as they fill it all out, they're answering the questions: "Are you a buyer? Are you a seller?" And then they get down to answering the questions about the home. So,
I find that if I fill it out for them without looking up, like, what did you think? And then I'll just throw in there, "Can I get your name and email?" And they'll usually give it to you,
Okay, that's
versus
great.
sometimes they
Yeah.
won't fill it out on their own.
there's several different ways that you can try to capture the information. Whatever's working for you, go with it. Use that. I like the feedback form because it's less intrusive, if you will. I'm not really trying to make them sign in, and I don't force anybody to sign in. So that's just me. I don't force them to sign in. However, I will still try to hand them a card on the way out. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Here's my card. So, and I've actually had someone come in and do that. I'm not filling anything out. I do like everything you said. I will take your card. And then they called me, and I ended up working with them. So, but I don't force anybody to sign in. So everybody's different about how they do that. Okay. You got your chairs, your folding table, your business cards, your water, your buyer guides, your seller guides. You can have other information out there. You can have closed comps in the neighborhood to kind of show different information. You can have absorption rate information. You can have tons of different information out there. It depends on how much you want to do. Like Dustin, when he does an open house, he has 4 tables out there, all kinds of information, and everyone walks up to it. So it's a great way to go up there and explain what's on the table, and like I said, build that relationship with them. Okay, so however you want to do it. At least I like to do 3 to 5. What's this? So that I can communicate with them. I have a chance at it. Okay. Any questions at all on this so far? Okay. Safety first also, let's talk about that. If you are doing open houses by yourself, please be safe. Make sure somebody knows where you're at. If not, try to have somebody go with you. If they're not a realtor or a lender, then they can be family. They just can't talk about real estate, but they can be there at the open house with you. Okay. Safety first. Okay. Want to make sure I mention that. All right, let's move on to the next thing. No. Did you guys have any questions on this here? No, on the signs? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and erase that. How many of you track your business? Okay. How many do open, some of you said you do open houses regularly, right?
Yeah.
So do you know your numbers on your open houses? Okay, it's good to do. So I'm gonna just give you some average numbers on the open house. So 1 in 34, so for every 34 people you meet, there's an opportunity. Now your numbers are gonna be different, okay? So that's why you need to, every month, look back and see how many people came through your open house so that you can track your numbers. So 1 in 34, for opportunity. Average people through, it's 5 to 8, okay? Based on this, if you did 1 open house a week, it was 20 to 32 people. If you did 2 open houses a week, it's 40 to 64 if you're hitting the average numbers. 3 open houses a week, you can see how it goes.
What are the best days to do them?
Good question. I like the weekends, but any day is a good day to do an open house. Any open house is better than no open house. Okay? So Saturdays and Sundays are what I find the best days to do them. But I know a lot of people that have success on Fridays or have success on a Tuesday. It's just up to you. And you can get creative in the different areas that you do. So you might do a 55 plus community. It might be a good time to do during the week. You might get a lot more traffic that way. Schools get out at 3 o'clock. You might do an open house from 3 to 7 or 3 to 6 or something like that. And do one near a school where the school's letting out and people are driving by. So they see the signs and they might stop by. Early morning, especially in the summertime when it's a little bit cooler, even though it's like 90 degrees in the morning, but you might want to do one from say 9 to 11 or 9 to 12 and try to capture that early morning, early risers. Some communities have like garage sales that are going on. When they do a big garage sale, usually that's around November or something, but I found I did an open house and had so much traffic because everybody was checking out all the other houses, but they were stopping in. So just look for different areas that, different ways that you can have open houses. And again, Saturdays and Sundays are the most popular, but any open house is better than no open house. Only takes one person through. I was tearing down an open house at 2 o'clock one day. I was taking everything down, all my signs, turned all the lights off, and somebody pulled up and said, "Are you closed?" I said, "Absolutely not. Come on in." Turned all the lights back on, did all that stuff. Ended up working with them. Ended up closing a deal 3 months later. So any open house is better than no open house. All right, here's some things to know. You're going to get a 0. You're going to have nobody through. Okay, it's going to happen. Biggest part is do not get discouraged. Keep going. Okay. When I first started my second year in the business, I focused on just database and Sphere and open houses, and I ended up 27 transactions that year. And I started out with nothing. The first 2 months, I had nothing, and I was like, "This doesn't work. What's going on here?" I'm like, "This stinks." And so, but in the next month, I started to get some traffic, started to get a couple people. I ended up having like one person that I was actually trying to help find a house. The other person was a maybe. It was like 1 to 3 months. But then it started to average out. So average out to this 1 in 34. You just have to keep going. Okay? And it's not always going to be, I know you're not always going to get the 5 to 8. I've had as many as 30 people through in one day, and I've had 0 the next day. Another important part is your area, you pick it. So if you find that you're getting 0 this weekend, what should you do? Move to another location. I've even done 2 on one weekend. I know I'm doing 2 open houses on Saturday and Sunday. I've done 1 in Mesa and done 1 in Gilbert. So you have to move. Can't stay in a spot where there's nobody coming through. Move to the next. I had another agent here at my home group that just started, was doing open houses in Phoenix for 3 weeks, wasn't getting anything. She called me up and said, "Hey, this isn't working." I said, I've been doing them here in Central Phoenix for the last 3 weeks, and I've got nobody through. And I said, "Well, you've been through my class, so what did I say to do?" And she said, "Move. I need to move." She went to Tempe and got over 25 people in that open house. So you just got to move around.
What do you do in situations when there's a lot of people in that open house?
That's another excellent question. And it's hard to juggle, especially if you're by yourself. I've been in that situation. So I tend to have three or 4 of those clipboards handy, so that when someone does come through, and let's say someone is having you on a tour and you are walking them through and explaining the different amenities of the home, I will say, "Excuse me," I would go get that clipboard, I would go introduce myself to the next group, and I would say, "Hi, thanks for coming to the open house. Here's a feedback form. We'd love your opinion on the home. Please have a look around. As soon as I'm done with these clients, I'll be right with you." And if you have multiple, you just have to do the best you can. Just as long as you're always going to say hello, introduce yourself, and giving them some information about the home so they can look around. It's another reason to have someone there to help you. If there's another person there that can help hand out the information, or another realtor that can, then you're both working that. So it's tough. It's tough if you're by yourself, but it can be done. Excellent question. Track your numbers. The most important part of your business is that you should be tracking. You know, I like to say start with 3 pillars of business. If open houses is one of your pillars, make sure you mark down your information. At the time you're done, after they're done, after they're gone, you should be following up with them. And it could be a text. You can already have a pre-made video of yourself just saying, thank you so much for coming to the open house today. I appreciate you coming in. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. And that's a quick video that you can do, and so after they leave, you can send that out immediately to them, thanking them for coming. If they've requested to be in your system, so they said, yes, I want more information, here's the thing. Put them in your system and take them off the drip. Okay? If you're already telling you that, yes, I'm interested in seeing homes and searching the site, there's no need for the prospecting drip campaign to go out to them. So Conversion has this prospecting campaign to try to convert buyers and sellers. Don't send them that. Because it's going to, I mean, one of the texts goes out and says, oh, hey, are you a buyer or a seller? Well, you've already had that conversation with them, so you don't want those campaigns to go out. Anytime you're working with somebody, take them off the campaign, okay? Unless you have some special campaign that's about the buying process or something like that, then that's okay. But don't hit them with the prospecting campaign. Take them off the campaign. Don't over follow up either.
So put them on the campaign if they go through and give you their information, but take them off if they change.
Yeah, if they've already said yes, I want to be on the campaign, take them off the trip. If they haven't and they've opted into your system, or you haven't talked to them and they want information, then that's different. But if you've already talked to them, they're saying yes, I'm looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home in the East Valley. Please put me on the campaign and send me the information, so I can search for homes. There's no need to put them on the campaign. Put them in there. The system that you have hopefully has the tracking ability so you can see everything that they're doing. The campaign will do some neat things like if they're looking for 4 houses, 3-bedroom, 2-bath in East Valley, it'll send them automatically a like property that looks like it's coming from you and saying, hey, I found this property for you. This might be of interest. That's okay. But take them off that campaign of trying to get them to communicate with you, because you've already done that. Once you've already talked to them and met with them, there's no need for them to be on that prospecting campaign. Okay. Any questions? No? No? Okay. So I also, if they give me the information, I will still put them on the MLS search too. So I don't just put them on my home search on my website. I will send them out a search from the MLS as well. Okay. On that one, they can't really search the system. They'll just receive them on a daily basis. But I have them on both of those.
At what point will you ask to do a buyer presentation then?
The buyer presentation?
Yeah. I mean, if you keep them on MLS and they're getting all this on a regular basis, what incentive do they have?
If they're calling me and showing more interest on wanting to look at homes, then yes, I will absolutely try to set up a buyer presentation to meet with them. The more information I can get from them to help them find the house that they're looking for, the better. I've even taken people out, as long as they're pre-qualified. Always find out if they're pre-qualified. You know, call their lender and make sure that they're pre-qualified before taking them out to see a home. I have in the past, when they've already told me they're pre-qualified, and I've taken them to see 1 house or 2 houses, and then I'll say go back to the office for a meeting, and then I'll sit down with them at that point, and that's when I'll go through the buyer presentation. So I'll talk with them about the lender they're using, get their information. I'll also go through a buyer presentation where I talk about all the different things that I do for them as a realtor, and that's when, if you want, you can present the buyer broker agreement if you want. But I go through all of that with them there. Most of the time, I like to know they're pre-qualified before I'm going to go out and show homes. Because the last thing you want to do is go out and spend all weekend showing homes just to find out that they're actually not approved.
Do you ever try to push a buyer to your lender?
Do I ever try to push a buyer to my lender?
Yeah.
Not in the sense that I'm like trying to force them to use my lender, but if I'm talking about lender information and they want to be pre-qualified, then absolutely I'm gonna recommend my lender to them. If they tell me they already have a lender, then you can say something like, it doesn't hurt to talk to someone else just to make sure you're getting the best rate, the best deal, and all the information has been provided to you. But I'd never try to force them to use my lender, but I will certainly try to recommend my lender. That make sense?
Yeah, so I use the lender that almost killed the deal. That's why I'm saying, like, if you're partnering with a lender that you know that's gonna do great work, and they come with some Joe Smo, then it's a decent deal.
Yeah, I mean, you can, I don't know how to,
It's alright.
yeah.
No, you can recommend that. A lot of times, what I do too is I'll say something like, you know what, it's so critical at the very end if your lender doesn't come through, your still doesn't close. So it's important that you use a lender that you can trust or has a good reputation in the community. Make sure you check that out. Call my lender or our lender that we know is experienced and does get loans closed and stuff. Because there are bigger lenders that at the very end we've had that happen where it doesn't happen.
Hopefully you've had that conversation with the person they recommended, so you get a good feel for whether they really are or not. Because I'm not, well, you know, have they been through desktop underwriting? They've been through you, and they'll tell you if they just pull credit, then hopefully they're going to put them through the system so you know that they've had some kind of underwriter approval. So I just ask questions.
A lot of times the lenders they find on the internet and stuff are the ones that I used to work for Manly Homes and people say, oh, I'm approved by this lender online. I'm like, they won't close on time and stuff like that. It happens, or the deal falls out. Or at the very end, they surprise them with higher fees, but they promise lower fees in front. That happens a lot. Make sure you check the reviews. Or here's a lender we work with that we know, always sure that we know he's trustworthy and reliable. Our clients like him.
Yeah. Another reason why I like to have them there too, because it's great to have a lender at the open house, and so if the questions do come up about whether they are approved or not approved, that lender can answer a lot of questions. A lot of questions. As a lender, I used to do them all the time. I've even had it was awesome. I was actually there one day with the realtor, and I pre-approved that person. They loved the home, pre-approved them right there. So, yeah, try to call your lender. If you don't, hopefully you guys are building your power partners network. So that's meeting with your lender, your title, growing that list out of all the different power partners you have. And that way you can learn more about what they do. Title does a tremendous amount of stuff for you. Lawyers' Title is amazing. These guys provide a tremendous amount of material for you to help you with your business. Lenders do the same. VIP, Lizzie Hofer from Guild, they're amazing. They really know what they're doing. They have a lot of good tools for you. So highly recommend that you set a meeting with them, sit down with them, learn about the different programs, because having that information there is valuable and it will help. Okay. Same with title, a lot of different things they can do for you. They can help prepare for the open house with you. There's different things they can do, as well as the information that you can provide at the open house for everyone. Okay. Just some other things. I mean, know what's around you in that open house. When you know you're going there, learn about the area a little bit, so you can talk about that. Know where the nearest shopping center is, different things. So if they do ask questions like that, you know where it's at. I mean, you get to do a lot of research before you even do it. So once you've picked the open house, like you're going through all that stuff, you learn. You have a lot of information at your fingertips there. A lot of good stuff that you could have and that help you prepare you for the open house. Any other questions?
You never gave me my script from that last
I'm sorry?
You never gave me that script from that last
Oh,
class.
yes.
I just remembered. We can talk after this
We will
class.
I will do that for you.
It was like 2 lines.
It's been a busy day. It's a busy day, but yeah, I'll absolutely go through that with you. Any questions? Oh, we got about 7 or 8 minutes. So I mean, anything, any
Do
questions
you
at
have
all?
scripts for open houses? I know, like, Berkshire Hathaway has a whole training program for new agents. And they have scripts on everything, from cold calls to voice, calling cancels, and also on open houses.
Okay.
Do we have anything like that?
Well, we have a lot of information in the backend system, a lot of different videos like this that'll help you with different scripts and different things, how to do the open house, there's a library of it. Now on the My Home Group Mastermind page, and you have to be an agent to see all those videos and on the back end engine, but they're out there for you.
Okay.
So there's a lot
I
of
know
good
you can
information.
Google
There's
open house
business
stuff.
tools on the
Yeah.
back end system, there's a marketing engine back there, there's so much information that you can access, to get that information.
Okay.
And I will do that, I will get that for you.
I just remembered, sorry.
I also just put.
Okay, you want that? Any other questions at all?
Do things work differently for us in Prescott, because we don't always get the same kind of traffic you guys get down here, or we don't have, you know, we're a lot smaller than you guys, so we don't have a lot of agents up there that we can do open houses with. We have our own, but.
Right,
but,
right.
It's just a little bit different up there.
And down there, that's where you would
Yeah.
get broker
Yeah.
permission to help
Yeah,
you
yeah.
do some of the other
So we
ones.
can do a
yeah,
little bit more of
absolutely.
that up there.
All right, well, thanks so much, you
Thank
guys,
you.
appreciate it.
Thanks.
I'll get those.
Okay, so this was the
Okay.
database, calling and inviting them in your database.
Yes, okay, so,
Okay.
let me make sure this is off, and then I'll be right back.